Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. Tall tales will take you very far. Don't stop.
Hey everyone, good evening. It is Friday, May. I wish it was March. It is March 20th at 5 p.m. Listen, we've got a lot I want to review with you today, and also there's a lot of questions. We're also posting today in some of the sanitation retiree pages because we're trying to educate them at the same time, because there's a lot of confusion over there too, and we want to be able to educate them as well as to their new drug plan, like 831, as well as some of the questions on NYC EPPO. So everyone that is clicking on today's video, we are live streaming into Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Instagram is the only place, if you're asking questions, I physically have to go over to, but on this platform, all your questions will come in on all the other platforms that I can literally see and should be able to, yep, I can see them. And actually I can show you the comments too. They'll come up on the side, but they'll also, whatever platform you will be in, you'll see them. Like if you're on Facebook, you should see the comments. If you're on YouTube, you'll see the comments there. And then these are preserved. So you can always go back and watch these. If you don't ever catch us live, you can go back and watch them. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Just click the link. And it should still be on the other platforms as well. So I want to just touch base on the copay class action lawsuit that is still going on. That case is only for the year 2022. It does not cover any copays from last year or this year. That is what legislation is for. But if you are still looking for copay receipts, you just need proof that you paid a copay. Don't worry if you don't know what copays you had. When this is finally settled, you will end up getting a list from the insurance company that you will have a list to go through and look for of all of those copay receipts. And you will have a short period of time to go ahead and get that evidence and send that in. There will be a whole procedure. You will be informed of it. Don't think you've missed anything. I was actually shocked today. I think it was on the Pissed Off Teacher page. They were like, are they still fighting that case? Like, if you guys aren't following what's going on, shame on all of you. Because there is the ability for us to be able to get reimbursed on some of this, but you've got to be able to prove that you have paid those copays. For the ones for 25 and 26, I'm not going to be, we have no lawsuit on those. You're going to have to help us with this legislation. And that'll be like another topic of conversation tonight. So that's on the copay case. Of course, Tuesday, we are going to Albany for our retiree lobby day. There's been a sign-up sheet. We're just about filled up. We will be meeting at 250 Broadway across from City Hall on Tuesday at about no later than 7:30 a.m. You need to get your tushies there at 7:30 in the morning. Make sure you're bundled up. It's going to be a cold day. You can bring a blanket. You could bring a phone charger. You could bring a coat, whatever you want. It stays in the bus, even though we're inside. And we'll be providing you, if you're on the bus, lunch and dinner, and a t-shirt and posters. So we're going to have a press conference up. We're going to meet the sponsors of our bill. You'll have a really great day and lobby in that afternoon with us. And then we will be headed back home in the afternoon. The buses will drop you off at the same place. So looking forward to doing that with all of you. Thanks for everyone that came to the 2 lobby classes. The last one was last night. So thanks for showing up to that. We truly appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. The drug data. You've been hearing about this. If you are on the NYCE PPO plan, whether you're active or retired, if you are on the NYCE PPO plan, and you were on MBF, Managerial Benefit Fund, or you're purchasing the city drug rider because you do not have a union drug plan, then the city has already shared your drug data with United Healthcare, because when the unions and the MLC passed the NYCE PPO plan, there was a provision that was in the redacted pages of this contract that permitted them to do so. But it gave them, as the unions, the ability to decide individually whether or not they wanted to go ahead and do it. Now, in order for them to get $100 million credit that they agreed to in saving the city that $1 billion, for those that are first joining us today, the Municipal Labor Committee agreed again to give back or save the city $1 billion with this new healthcare plan. What we were furious about in its inception was that it never laid out how it would do it, and again, what would happen if those benchmarks weren't met. What it did say that in one of the speeches before the committee was that they would be credited with $100 million in savings if 75% of the people in the NYCE PPO plan's drug data, completely unredacted, and that's not just you, the member, that's you, your kids, your spouse, etc., was given to United Healthcare. They say about 20% of the number is from those who are in MBF or on the city drug rider. The rest needed to come from the unions. That data has been given to the city so far from the city. That data has been given to United Healthcare from the city weekly since January. The unions are still deciding how they're going to do it, if they're going to do it. And many of the unions, as you've read in the Chief this week, Work Bites, the Politico, that they're not happy with this, as it sets a very bad precedent that one of the tenets of a fiduciary for a union welfare fund is to protect its members. And that, of course, why would they be doing this? Several of the unions have already spoken out against doing it. So, Leela, that's a really great question. We actually had passed that to some of our attorneys and also asked some of the union welfare funds to look at it. While it might be legal underneath HIPAA, the question is it moral or ethical given the fiduciary responsibility of those unions? We're going to be communicating with some of those unions real quick to make sure that they understand we're watching what they're doing, because that would set a precedent that, of course, then once they give that data, they will never give that back. Now, one of the things you need to know is if that is agreed to, you will not ever, according to them, be able to stop that, because they're giving it. The only people that could stop it is the welfare fund. Now, if you get a phone call from United Healthcare because one of those unions agreed to give that data, then that call will be something like, hey, hi, Marianne, this is United Healthcare, and we want to help you coordinate your care and, control costs and maybe interest you in taking alternative treatments. That's a conversation you guys really should be having with your doctor, not your insurance company. And sure as hell, definitely not United Healthcare. So that's a conversation. Now, you can tell them that you do not want to receive those phone calls. You could opt out of that. It'll only opt you out of that program, the calls, but it will not stop United Healthcare from getting your data. So if you are an active worker, or you're a retiree of a former union, you're going to want to call them and speak to their welfare funds and speak to the leadership of that union and tell them that you disagree with this. That's what your homework is going to be going forward, because only you can stop that or pressure them not to do that. And especially you active workers, if you don't have a problem with that, well, then that's on you. But if those that do, that's something you should be considering. Now, we're hearing through the grapevine that in the sanitation circles that the unions have potentially agreed to give retiree health care over, just not the active worker health data over. That's something you guys are going to need to confirm, because those are your locals. Please let us know what you find out. Speak to your leadership and let us know. But those are the rumors that we are hearing now all week this week. So hopefully that answers your question, Leela. It's not just drug data, it's PHI, private health information, as well as other identifying information being shared. You are absolutely 100% right, Ellen. When United Healthcare did the seminar, for the Municipal Labor Committee, they said that they would garner over 700 different data points from the union drug data from the welfare fund. 700. So think about that for a moment. They're going to want all sorts of information: where you live, your age, health, other health issues, race, ethnicity, whatever it is that they need. 700 different data points. That's a lot of information about you. And it's completely unredacted. Not only would that be shared with United Healthcare, but then those reports are then shared with the Municipal Labor Committee on the accumulation of that data. What are they doing with that data? That's another really good question. So the data would be shared with United Healthcare. Data would be shared with United Healthcare if because they want to create an AI database. So they're going to take your drug data and your health data. Again, Matthew, this is for people who are in the NYC EPPO, but give me a minute because I have something else to add to this. So for those, again, in the NYC EPPO plan, that is the pre-Medicare plan, that is the active worker plan. Then they're going to create this AI database. They're going to put all of the data in of the drugs and your healthcare from the NYC EPPO. And they're going to assign a risk to you. They call it risk stratification. And they want to determine, how risky are you to be covered by the plan? What are you costing the plan? Are you using high-cost drugs? Are you having high-cost procedures? They want to be able to control the costs. They said, this isn't Marianne saying this, this is United Healthcare Emblem saying this. They want to be able to control your costs. And they also want to do a predictive modeling, also their word. And what does that mean? That means that they want to look at what you've cost the insurance company, what your treatment is. They want to control those costs. That means prior authorization, potentially more denials, maybe put you, through a cost containment program, try to convince you to do something else than what you're currently doing. And then the predictive modeling is they want to see what you're going to cost them in the future. And again, for cost containment, and they say care, improved care. Now, when I read the chief leader this week, I was looking at the article that Carter wrote, and I was like, they want to improve care. How is an insurance company going to improve care? The only care that can be improved is through you and your doctor. Your doctor provides medical care. The insurance company cannot. So care coordination, that's again up to your doctor. And typically when you're seeing a physician, you're in a network of doctors who typically all communicate with each other through a medical platform, usually like an Epic, and they can see who you're seeing. They also know what medications you're taking because everything is online, and the doctors get that through the portal. Now, I use 2 different pharmacies, and I also have a mail order from my World Trade Center. My doctor, no matter which one I see, can see every medication I'm taking, whether they dispense it to me or not. So hearing United Healthcare say that they needed the drug data to be able to control cost and to protect you from a catastrophic incident, I laughed my ass off because our doctors see this already. Now, Matthew, for your question, Medicare eligible, I'm assuming. Why would drug data be shared with United Healthcare? Now, we were told those on Medicare, it is not. I want you to know that one of our retirees reached out to us that they were getting calls from a local pharmacy that Emblem Health, because they are on the Emblem drug plan, Emblem Health asked them called them up out of the blue to speak to the retiree's spouse and spoke to the retiree about the spouse's medications without even clarifying with the spouse that they were permitted to speak about the spouse's medications or medical history. Then started going into talking about the medications. And the spouse says, why are you talking to me about this? I've never set foot in your pharmacy. And they said that they were assigned by Emblem Health to do this. Now, if you're listening to me right now, and there's thousands of you that are listening to this call right now as I'm speaking, if you got a call from a pharmacy or Emblem Health or from a third-party vendor asking you questions and you are on Medicare, that they wanted to talk to you about your prescriptions and your health care, that they told you that they were assigned to call you from your insurance company, please drop us an email and let us know that you're getting these calls. We, almost now 2 weeks ago, emailed the commissioner about this, and they still have not replied back, even though we asked them for a reminder, which tells us this is happening, and they probably don't know how to answer it, because at least at a minimum, they should have told you that you were being reached out for whatever the purpose was, which they've not answered yet. So I want you to know that if this is happening, we have already received a couple calls on this. We want to know if more of you, so if you're listening to this podcast right now, please email us at retirees@nycretirees.org. In the subject line, say that you are a Medicare retiree and received a call where they were inquiring about your medications that they were assigned by your insurance company. That leads me to the next thing. Thank you, Claudia, for asking me about this. I received questionnaire, 3 separate mailings. Now, I want to get into this because this is also another really important point for those of you on Medicare. Most likely you got a document that was a questionnaire. It had 2 emblems at the top, Emblem Health and CMS. And if you're on Medicare, this is where they start to look for ratings of the drug plan. And I've not seen this in the past. If this was your first time, I might do a survey on this to reach more of you to see if this was the first time. I've not heard of this before now. So what are they doing? So when they're asking you to do these surveys, that is a survey done by Press Ganey. Press Ganey is the ones that, if you remember, that they were in our used by, I think it was Anthem in our first lawsuit against the city to say, we did a survey and in the response, we sent out 200,000 responses. And of the 10,000 people that replied, all of them loved us. Well, if you have 200,000 people on your plan and only 10,000 people replied, I would have said, well, that's bullshit. 10,000 people replied. That means all the other must think you suck and they just didn't want to waste their time or be bothered filling this thing out. Oh, so you're saying it's not new. Okay. Actually, if you got a call from Express Scripts and they told you that, it was probably from Emblem. So this Press Ganey survey, the responses that they will allow Emblem to say, my plan is great because we got 10,000 responses back from people who thought it was wonderful. They only count the responses that they get returned. They don't count anything else. You don't respond, you throw it in the garbage, they could care less. Doesn't count. But if you think they suck, or if there's been a problem, or you've been having a problem, and I'm told you can skip questions on the survey, then please try to do that to make sure that your personal experiences, good or bad, get counted. Because if you don't send it back and you have horrible experiences, that will never, ever be counted because you threw it away. So I just want to put that out there. When we started reaching out about this past week, because several of you were reaching out to us going, what the hell is this? That's exactly what it's for. And they only count the ones that they receive. Now, the normal person would say they mailed out 200,000 and only 10,000 submitted them. That tell me that there's a lot of apathy or people are disgusted or they didn't want to be bothered with it. It must be crap. But that doesn't count or gets factored into anything. The only thing that gets factored in is the ones that are returned. So keep that in mind. Sorry, it was an Express Scripts pharmacist. But still, one of the ladies that I was mentioning about the other day that came to mind, she literally got a call from a pharmacist from Staten Island. So I want you to know that they are getting pharmacy calls because supposedly Emblem told them to call you. So you should definitely, let us know that that's happening. Just put in the subject line, Medicare retiree, phone call, drug, pharmacy related, then just give us a little synopsis of what happened and where you're from and who called you. And if you're getting these phone calls, as some of them were getting 2 and 3 calls a day. So what I want you to do is you're going to ask them questions. Who told you to call me? Make them tell you. Don't say, hey, did Emblem Health tell you? Ask them, who told you to call me? Make them tell you who told you, because it could also just be a phishing scam call you don't know. And that's the other thing I said to the commissioner. You're calling a retiree population who are victims of fraud all the time. That is another concern. The survey is flawed. It claims that, quote, your prescription plan, as noted, is not printed on the survey. It's bogus, in my humble opinion. Claudia, could you send me a copy of what you got? Because I'd be interested to see what you, and highlight it or circle it for me so you could draw my attention to how many crazy ass pages you're going to send me. Marianne, regarding the survey, I sent you a hard copy with my editorial comments yesterday. Okay, Carrie, I will make a note of that and I will go look. Probably Bob got it, and we've been in meetings all day. But I will definitely look for that afterwards. Ellen, I am suddenly getting junk mail oriented towards Medicare eligible retirees. I'll start keeping these and scan and send them to you. Yeah, because that'll be interesting if someone's selling your data. That would also be interesting to know. That should surely be an issue that we raise, with the city. Right. Let's see. By getting the data so as to be able to assign a risk category for each patient, this is a backdoor of introducing discrimination on the basis of underlying conditions, violates the ACA. So I will tell you, Ellen, that there are several union leaders that are very concerned about this as well. They don't like the idea that this could potentially be discriminatory in many different ways, not just under ACA, also based on whatever gender, ethnicity, whatever, that there could potentially be discrimination. So they raise this issue because it is an AI model. And so we raised that issue as well because we'd been working with AI a little bit, especially in doing some of the things that we've been doing. And we've noticed some of the discriminatory nuances in AI, which means it's either learned or it's inputted and not from us. Interesting. I wrote to Jeff Sorkin and he said, as a retiree, it does not pertain to me. Well, Karen, if you are on NYC EPPO, it sure as hell pertains to you. And you can call him back and tell him that. For active workers, just so you know, the only union that we know that has advocated for it verbally is the United Federation of Teachers. Although yesterday we did hear that this potentially, not confirmed, that some of the sanitation unions gave the retiree NYC EPPO drug data over to United Healthcare, just not the active worker data. So I think that might be something, again, the sanitation retirees might want to reach out to their union leaders and get clarification for, and then please educate us. I have not called them to date, but I will make that a point probably sometime next week or the week after. Next week, of course, we're extremely busy. Let's see. Retirees on senior care are covered by Amplify. Yes, Matthew, I'm well aware of this. Remember, I've been doing healthcare for 30 years. I'm not talking about Medicare retirees on that drug plan. I am telling you for a fact that Medicare retirees on the city drug plan are getting these phone calls. And I don't know where they're being generated from. Most likely Emblem, since they are being told, Emblem Health told us to call you. We were assigned your case. It has nothing to do with United Healthcare. It has to do with Emblem assigning some sort of call program for Medicare retirees. But separately, if you are on NYC EPPO, then you are, as a city retiree on MBF, managerial benefits funds, or on the city drug rider, your data was already shared if you were on the NYC EPPO plan. Two totally separate issues. Okay. You're welcome, Laura. Yes. Thank you, Carrie. Hi, Marion. Would it be helpful to email all of New York City Council and ask their support for Intro 1096? Not yet, Patricia, because we don't have a bill number yet, but I will be in touch with you on that shortly. Now, the other thing I want to educate those of you who are on the city drug rider, or if you are local 831 and you're on the Emblem Medicare drug rider. So these are only for Medicare people at this point. So Medicare retirees on the local 831 city Emblem drug plan, or if you are a New York City retiree on the city Emblem drug rider or MBF. I want to show you something. So this is the Medicare.gov page. And let me see if I can drop this link in the chat, because this is where you get to do some of your own homework. So this is the official Medicare page, Medicare.gov. Let me see if I can also drop this into Instagram. And let's see, there's a question in Instagram. Let's see what's here. Is it retirees on Medicare as well? So Olivel 7, I'm not sure what question that was pertaining to. Is it retirees on Medicare as well? Explain to me what your exact question is, because I'm already past whatever the point was of what we were talking about. I'm dropping in the chat right now a link to Medicare.gov, and it will be this page that you're seeing that says, what is the Medicare prescription payment plan? So if you are a Medicare retiree, you will know that some of your drug copays are kind of pricey. So in general, let's just speak in general right now. And if you are finding that some of the copays of your meds, especially for the first couple of months, because remember, in the drug plan, you have a $2,100 maximum out-of-pocket expenditure. Once you've hit that $2,100, you are no longer paying any costs. However, if before you get there, your cost is high, let's say you have a $1,000 copay, that could be prohibitive. So this program is through Medicare, and I'm going to drop in the chat another link from the Emblem website. This program allows you to take that very expensive copay and spread it across time. Specifically, spread those payments out. You have to fill out this application and send it in. It is on Emblem's website. So if you put in even a Google search, if for some reason you lose this link, put in a Google search, Emblem Health Medicare Prescription Payment Plan. Let me come and drop it over into Instagram. Okay. And you need to fill this out and send it in. And once you're approved, you'll get that okay to spread out those copays so they're not prohibitive. So yeah, Janet, I was just told today about this option today from WellCare. Scarizzi copays $1,800. Now that'll really put you really darn close to that $2,100 maximum out of pocket. It's not going to save you money. It's not going to give you a discount or anything, but it'll take that $1,800 and let you spread it out so it's not killing you. That's the purpose of the Medicare prescription payment plan. And if you are a New York City retiree, or you are a Sanitation 831 retiree on a Medicare Part D plan, or anyone who's on a pure Medicare Part D plan, you can use this program. You just need to find the form from your plan. This is, I'm giving you the emblem plan. If you are on another plan, like Janet, you're on the WellCare plan, you need to use probably WellCare's own form. This is the form I'm giving the retirees who are on the city plan, which is the emblem plan. So hopefully that helps you. Great. Perfect. So that helps out a little bit. I know still with the retirees from 831 that are on this new Medicare Part D plan, it is a pure PDP. It is a private Part D plan, and it is a standalone Part D. There was a gentleman yesterday that was debating with me, insisting that he was on Medicare Advantage. He is not on Medicare Advantage. The 831 situation was that Sanitation's Union's welfare fund was literally going bankrupt. And unfortunately, because many of those decisions that were made under the leadership of Harry Nespoli leading the MLC, that they were relying on additional funding coming out of the stabilization fund rather than negotiating for additional funding out of their contracts during their contract period and collective bargaining. When the stabilization fund stopped paying the union welfare funds, then that's when they started to do all sorts of evil shit, like charge retirees copays, tried to force us into Medicare Advantage, all of those kinds of things. And of course, the unions that were relying upon that extra money is $165 additional a year per member and retiree that was going to the welfare fund. That money stopped. So unfortunately, they needed to figure out what to do, because now that Harry had retired last June, they had to figure out a way to make sure that the welfare fund stayed viable to be able to provide a plan. So the drug plan for the city, I want to make sure that the local 831 retirees understand that. They are having this drug plan premium free right now. And yet they're not happy because the drug plan that they have, this new plan through Emblem, is a PDP. It is a Medicare Part D plan. It has a $615 deductible. It also has copays. And then you also have the standard federal $2,100 maximum out of pocket. There's a formulary now, and which they were probably, it was a more robust formulary under the other plan that they had. They're not used to this, and so they're upset. And I understand that. But this plan does provide a protection. So you have a deductible of $615 for those. And again, this is for sanitation workers. So you have a $615 deductible. Once you hit that deductible, that $615 will get applied towards that $2,100 maximum out of pocket. Now, once you've hit that $615, now you just have your copay. Okay. And typically those copays, if I remember your sheet, was about 25%, which is the same as what the city's paying. Here's the difference. You guys aren't paying a premium for your plan. The New York City retirees who are on managerial benefit fund, who have purchased the drug rider from the city because their union doesn't offer them one, they're paying $180 a person a month. So you still have the benefit that your union is paying the premium for your drug plan right now, like they were paying the premium before. What's changed is your plan design. But your plan, unlike many other unions that provide a drug plan for their Medicare retirees, that is not a real Medicare Part D. These other plans don't all offer like vaccinations, preventative medicines, and there's issues with that because if you go, for example, to get a shingles shot, they're going to want to charge you $250. But your Part D plan should cover all of these things that Medicare covers. And then, of course, once you've spent up to $2,100, that cap protects you because you'll no longer pay any more. And then, of course, your plan still today does offer this Medicare payment plan for you so that if you do have, let's say, very expensive medications, you can spread those payments over time. So that's a little bit of a overview of the 831 plan because we seem to get hammered with a lot of calls about that this week. Also, Local 831's Welfare Fund invites their members to join their union's website. You can go to their portal and log in. You will need a specific number, like a, I forget what it was called, like a reference number to log into their portal. You can get that by calling the Welfare Fund, and they will give you that number or email them. I think the lady's name was Angelina, very nice lady. She'll help you register for that portal, and you can communicate with the welfare fund right through the portal. And then that would help you with any issues that you're having with medications, prior authorizations, all of that stuff. And they're really more apt to help you answer that because that is a union specific drug plan. It is a standalone drug plan. It is a Medicare Part D plan that is sponsored by Emblem, and it is paid for the premium by Local 831 Sanitation. So that's the presentation for that. We did go, and I did invite some of the page admins from the sanitation pages. If you want me to come and do a Q&A on your page, I will, and we'll go over all the details. We did this once before in the DSNY financial page. I will help you understand your drug plan, but you have a pure Medicare Part D plan, okay? Let's see. I retired 2 years ago, not Medicare eligible for another year. 2 weeks ago, I received a call from Emblem and message rep left. Yes. So you are on the NYCE PPO and you are retired. You don't tell me. You don't tell me whether or not EAM 428, whether or not you were on the city drug rider. Tell me if you're on the city drug rider or if you are on a union drug plan and which union you're from. If you are managerial, MBF, MEA, you are UFT, retired corrections, then you are on the city drug plan, and that makes total sense. While I'm waiting for your answer, let me just check my agenda. Drug data, sanitation, NYC EPPO, retiree legislation. So we are headed back to Albany, and we also are still working on the retiree legislation for city council. We had another meeting today with council member Marte. So we're hoping that in like another 2 weeks or so, we should have a bit more of an update on a little bit of everything for you legislation wise. But right now, the city and the state are both working on budgets, and you all know those because those budget hearings are on a daily basis. You can go watch those on the city council page if you have nothing else to do, because you can go watch them on YouTube. EAM, I'm still not seeing a response from you, but I'm going to continue to move on until you reply. I'll listen back as I've missed the beginning of your update, but I'm not liking how Mamdani isn't understanding that in approving predatory United Health to obtain access to our private drug data for some measly discount, he's not only jeopardizing our lives, but given the green light for all to think it's okay for insurance companies to control everyone's life so that he can make more obscene profits. And you know, are you guys familiar with Email the Mayor? Hold on, I'm going to go. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. Because we used to do this where we would give you the link and you could email Eric Adams when he was mayor. Yeah, contact the mayor. It's still up. Okay, so let's see. Share this tab. Let me show you this page. So contact the mayor. Now, you can all call 311 if you want. 311, you know, is that hotline for the city. It's their call center. You can call them and say, hey, does the mayor know that when he's supporting sharing our drug data, that his drug data and Mrs. Mamdani's drug data has been shared since January on a weekly basis? Are you okay with that? Hey, someone posted that the mayor is actually taking allergy shots. Does he want everyone in the world to know, including United Healthcare, that he's taking allergy shots? Because he's on the city drug plan, but the city happened to, share that data. So now you can, let's see, email the mayor. There's your message. Write the mayor. And you could tell him all about this. I'll drop that in the chat as well. And let me drop that over in Instagram for those that came over here. You can contact the mayor right here and share this information. Ask him how he feels about this. And Is he okay with drug data being shared with United Healthcare for him, his spouse, the speaker's kids, the speaker's husband, the city council? Ask your city council members. You can feel free to do all of that because they should be protecting you. Right now, there's this big push against AI. This is for AI. They're to create this AI database and put your data in it. There you go. So while the welfare funds are saying that the United Healthcare told the welfare funds they will always own the data, no one answered the question about the city. And honestly, we already know that the city sells our information to insurance companies because they've told us that they'll sell that, they'll give this data to insurance companies which is why you're getting this information. They'll give it to they'll give out information of retirees. They told us that there's more restrictions on employee data, but this is also another concern that they should not be doing that. But yes, that is something for you to, as a homework for you to do in reaching out to the mayor. And that's the easiest way for you to do it, day or night, because you can call 311 or you can email the mayor right from that link. So that is your homework. I am not seeing a response from EAM428. So that is really all I have. If you guys have other questions, I'm going to ask you to drop them in the chat in the next minute or so, because otherwise we'll just call it a night. Wish you guys all a great weekend. Remember, Tuesday, you're going to meet us at the 250 Broadway no later than 7:30. We're supposed to be ready to get on that bus, loaded, settled, and that bus is leaving at 8 a.m. sharp. Mom Donnie is taking allergy shots so his wife can get a cat. Does he feel comfortable having this info shared with anyone who wants to pay for it? Well, and that's an interesting thing. I didn't understand the cat reference. Thanks for sharing that. I did see that online, and I was like, what the heck the cat has to do with it? But yes, I'll email the mayor, Marianne. In fact, every time we email, we'll use the mayor tool. We know he either wants to learn or ignore. And of course, when you're emailing him, you could ask, when are you going to meet with the New York City Retirees Organization? And, you're welcome to put our email or our phone number, whatever. If you have my number, put my number. If you have our email, put our email. If you have our liaison's number or contact, whatever, you're welcome to put hers down too. So that may help you. Yes, seems like everyone already knows since it's been over. So I know, Carrie, I saw it on Twitter this morning. I agree. It's quite hysterical. Where do we send our copies? No. So ERJ, you're RJ1, 1973. You're not sending anything anywhere. You've not received anything from us requesting it. We're asking you to put it aside in a folder, know where your folder is, but you're not sending us anything. The case isn't settled yet. Once it is, which we hope it will be soon, you will be receiving a formal communication of such. And that's when that information becomes important. Now, in the process of that, you will also be educated at that time. And I will remind you then again, too, you never send anyone your originals. You will only send them copies. But there will be a process. We're not there yet. We're trying to get you all to get in the momentum of collecting this data. Yes, I can verify the cat info. The allergy shots haven't kicked in yet. I think we should each bring a cat to our next City Hall protest. That's hysterical. Who is group supporting in the City Council 3 special election? So, Robert, the only council person that reached out to us to ask for our endorsement was Leila Gasico. So she's supported us. She's signed our pledge. She agrees to protect our health care not force us into Medicare, she will protect us from these backdoor premiums in the forms of copays and deductibles. She supports protecting retirees' health, spouse, the family benefits, because a retiree's benefit dies the day the retiree dies. That means that the spouse or dependents lose their health care the day the retiree passes. So we wanted a grace period to cover that. There were 3 issues that we had. We asked every one of our candidates, and we put it in a letter, and we asked them to put it on their letterhead and to sign it. And then they review it. If they have any questions, they ask us back. So the 3 issues is not being forced into Medicare Advantage, preserving the promise that was made to us. That we also want our Medicare B premium reimbursement back sooner, because we pay it and we don't get the reimbursement back for 16 to 22 months. So we're asking for that to be in the year that we pay it. And then, of course, the spousal, the dependent healthcare benefits. So, Carrie, which link doesn't seem to work? If you're talking about the emblem link for the form, put in Google search Emblem Health, Medicare prescription payment plan. Then the emblem form will come up. It'll lead it right to you. But I'll tell you what, if you're on our Facebook page, I'll also go put them there after this chat. Okay? I'm allergic to Mom Donnie. You guys are funny. I haven't made copies yet because I'm hoping we can scan the copay docs. Okay. She also supported the Elliott Chelsea seniors. Yes, she did. So far, she is the only one that we've supported, because no one else, I guess, cares about our endorsement. Haven't reached out to us. Have you heard that New York State is trying to get bill introduced into law that is now in committee, universal health for all employees? So, Dan, that bill's been here for decades. It's probably like 40 years old. It's here every year. It was here last year. I'm not shocked it's back again. I'm not only going to urge the mayor to reach out to you and the organization, but also insist he follow up on the scathing health insurance stabilization audit. Not holding our MLC heads is not only helping a cover up, but pushing financial consequences. Yes, because there's been no accountability, not from him or from the comptroller yet, which I don't understand. It's the question below. The emblem link works. The third link, it's the other one in the middle that doesn't work. Honestly, I don't know which one you're talking about, because I think I've dropped 3 links in the chat. The third link, one. Oh, you're talking about the link for the mayor? So if you're talking about the link to the mayor, Google search email the New York City mayor, and you should come right up to that. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. But was that this page? Because that's literally what I put in to pull that up, was email the New York City mayor. I will drop it in the chat again. And let me drop it over in Instagram as well. Okay. If not, just do as I said. Just go and put in Google, email the New York City mayor, or contact the New York City mayor, and that should come up for you. Okay. Let's see. What is the form for Marianne, I don't know what form you're talking about for the NYC EPPO. The form that I'm discussing is for the Medicare prescription payment plan. You're not on that. Many seniors die before the 18 reimbursement by the city, sadly, so getting it back sooner makes sense. I agree with you 100%. And yes, you're right again. The MLC is still violating, and they're violating their bylaws in more ways than one. This is one of those ways in that it doesn't have a uniformed member on the executive board. 100% accurate. I wish I could go to Albany too far. Maybe we can revisit the DEA creditable coverage issue. Yes, Gwen, I will do that with you. I will tell you, I've reached out to Carmine Russo from the Welfare Fund, and he has not replied back. We can try that next week. If you want, put on your calendar to call me like the week after next week, because I'll be in Albany all week next week. But put it on your calendar to reach back out to me. You should have my contact, and we can keep trying to call Carmine on a daily basis until he answers the phone. And I will do that with you daily. You can schedule an appointment with me where every morning we call Carmine. Let's see. Loved your recent radio show. The chemical engineer retiree who worked for the city for 30 years was so moving. Then we got to hear Joe speak candidly about how disappointed he is in the mayor for blackballing him and work. But I know it's just insane. So I am going to say goodnight because I'm not seeing too much. You're welcome, Gwen, anytime. I apologize that dropped off my radar, but when Carmine wasn't calling me back and then we got busy again with all of our meetings, I mean, I never hide my calendar from you guys. I mean, I don't want you to think I'm like, sitting on the sofa eating bonbons or anything, but every one of those appointments on my calendar, pink lines on my calendar is an appointment. And you could see there are some days where there's multiples. So just so you know, I mean, we are really working really hard in getting all of this done. And my apologies for that dropping off my radar, but cool. So not next week, because I don't come back until like Thursday, but the Monday after, reach back out to me. So like the 30th, let's start our Carmine campaign. All right, cool. Thank you. You need to be sitting on your couch having a martini. I know, and our Vice President Bob today told me I need to take a vacation. I promise I will probably do that too. And shut my phone off for a week. To all those going to Albany, on behalf of all of us, good luck and much success. I look forward to trust me. I was thinking this morning, maybe I should cancel my Friday live next week, but let's do an update next week. And if for some reason I have to cancel it, you'll know in the morning, but we'll give you at least the update that we have by Friday. Okay. So everyone, you have a great weekend. Please enjoy yourselves, get out a little bit. Hopefully the weather is nice. For those coming to Albany, I will see you on Tuesday. For those driving, for those that are speaking, for those that are meeting us by City Hall, I sent an email out to each and every one of you this afternoon. Please make sure you find it. It's either in your inbox or it's in spam. It came from the retirees email, retirees@nycretirees.org. Please go and look for that email if you did not. It just kind of gives you instructions. It'll tell for those that are driving that we are, if you weren't on the call last night, where to meet us at the Dunkin' Donuts inside. You should have been given, if you came to our lobby class last night, you should have been given information on how to contact our liaison. You will be given a book that you were taught about last night. Marianne, please look in spam, especially if you have an AOL email. It usually goes to spam or junk. Please look there. You did get it. You were on that list. And also Marianne, you also got the email about the speaking template. So please do that as well. If you were assigned as a speaker, you were given the template to speak in what we wanted you to, how we wanted you to write that. What we want you to do is go in and write and then reply all and send it back to the three of us that are on that list, me, Deborah, Tanisha. Send that back to us so that we can kind of look at it. We're going to pull some words off of it because we want to do some press releases. And then we'll, make sure it's okay for you. And then we'll be talking about that with you on the bus on our way up. No matter which bus you're on, you'll have that okay. But please, if you are speaking, you are looking for the speaker email, and you're also looking for the general email to give you a heads up about what's happening, okay? Great. So Marianne, again, you have two emails from me today, the speaker email and the general email. Thanks, Marcia. I'm glad you got it too. And yes, thank you. Thank you, Carmela. Yes, if you cannot go, you're welcome to short donate. You can see right above here, ticking across the top, donate to the organization to support our efforts. We're providing the coach buses, the lunches, the dinners, the t-shirts, the signs, the press, the releases, all of that marketing. We're doing all of that with you, for you, and all the expenses around that. Be dressed as comfortable as you possibly can. For those that are on the bus, we have long sleeve t-shirts for you. So that, you can layer your clothes. Good idea. Yes, Mama Ellen. So do all that you make you comfortable. You could bring a blanket because look, you're on a bus and we can't make everybody comfortable. So some people will be hot. Some people will be cold. I'm never going to make all of you happy in one place, especially in a gigantic moving vehicle. So bring a blanket if you're prone to being cold. Ella, if you're listening to this, because you always complain on the bus, bring a blanket. You can leave it there. And then you, of course, bring a tote bag so that you could tote it back home. Yes, you can bring your collapsible stools that we gave you when we did Occupy DC 37, or you can buy them off of Amazon if you can get it before Tuesday. They do have to be a strap over your shoulder or in a tote bag. They can't just be swinging them around or leaving them on the floor. Or security will take them away. That's really basically it. When do you need the template mailed back? Yes, I have them both. Well, if you can get it to us quickly, because remember, this is the weekend. So get it to us even tomorrow is fine, but it's really simple. Look at it. I'm sure you'll really like it. Get in and look at that setup and put your personal information in and just reply all and send it right back to the three of us so that we can eyeball it. We are going to take some of that information, like maybe a sentence out of what you guys write, and add that to a press statement. Hello, next bus, please. Good to see you. Let's see. I know there's a bus leaving from Staten Island. Did you say there's? Yes, there's two buses leaving from 250 Broadway. And there is a group of retirees. We moved 5 Staten Island retirees over to the Staten Island bus. Sal Pepitone is the gentleman. He's a retired NYPD. He is the captain of that bus. And then, of course, Laura and Evelyn, you guys are the bus captains with Jack Latore on the New York City bus leaving out of Manhattan. So yes, absolutely. All right. It's an hour. You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you Tuesday morning. All right. Enjoy, everybody. Have a great day. Love ya. Ciao.
Don't speak what you don't understand. The truth is not in your command. Don't shout about what you think is fake. The decision isn't yours to make. Don't lie about the way things are. The tall tales will take you there.